गुलों में रंग भरे बादे नो बहार चले, चले भी आओ कि गुलशन का कारोबार चले. I thought one day, and then I thought for days, that what shall be the start of the talk of spring, bahar, sparle, for which human being longed from the very beginning in exile, for which Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, longed, for which Iqbal, Ghani, Faiz and so many others longed, for which I and you are longing. I thought my thoughts are futile, but they were not, and one day I saw a dream that I am reciting to someone a couplet of Faiz like a Masnavi of Rumi, so dear and familiar to me, which he wrote when he was in prison. When I woke up, I quickly memorized and deciphered the dream while it was still fresh and raw. कफस उदास है यारो सबा से कुछ तो कहो, कहीं तो बहर खुदा आज ज़िक्र यार चले. जैसे इंसान की अज़ल से कैद हयात व बंदे गम से निजात की ख्वाहिश, जो असल में दोनों एक हैं, जैसे ख़ज़ां में उम्मीद बहार. इंसान क्योंकि आज़ाद पैदा किया गया है और उसके पास विल यानी मर्ज़ी की खूबी है, लिहाजा उसको किसी किस्म की कैद व बंद की आदत ही नहीं. इंसान को ख़ज़ां में बहार का इंतज़ार होता है और कैद में आज़ादी का. Bahar, spring, is known to us because we know of autumn. Do you wonder why in the cycle of nature the phase of spring is not constant? Yes, because constancy is the inability to change. Human being is progressive. To stop changing is to stop progressing. The purpose of autumn is to long for spring. Human and nature are not indifferent to each other. The only difference is that the change in nature is consistent and follows a certain course, while change in human being is inconsistent and free. A glass can only be molded into a desired shape if it's hot, or it will break if otherwise. These hardships, these struggles we have in our lives are not meaningless. They reveal on you details of the very basics of life. The units, the roots, the origin, like you yourself are the root, the unit, the origin of your existence. Life is like a journey from a single point into an entire universe. A clot, the single point being the ego of human being, and the realization of self is like the expansion of that single point into an entire universe with an expansion like the Big Bang. Like how objects in nature are attracted towards each other under a certain universal law, human life works under certain laws too, which just write the outcome of the decisions of the ink of human free will. I was a fundamentalist for 9 years ago, following a strict literal and static path of religion established by a few and societal norms set by some, like a directed life which I followed with my will, without questioning, without reasoning. I was like the usual product of blind following of our society, and such a lifestyle restricts our freedom and suppresses our creativity. 8 years ago, I was in 10th grade when I experienced an event before which I did not know sorrow to that extent. Pain, hardship, illness, they have a very important but unrecognized purpose. They restrict you and push you into isolation for introspection, so that you think and know what is what and what is not that which you thought it was. Coming out of it is very important. and on the other end is another sea waiting for you to dive in. When you come out, you know better than before what spring truly looks like. The colors, the scents, the harmonies of nature, the people, their joys, their sufferings, and the rush of your blood. A sorrow when I gave myself in changed the direction of my life up to 180 degrees. I started to think, to reason, to question everything. To think, to feel is an art of which everyone is capable. And I find such people the prettiest who know this art. The messengers, the philosophers, the mystics, the scientists, and other creatives and thinkers, they are all artists, and this is their talk, the talk of spring. Self-recognition is like light which purifies joy, and sorrow is the secret treasure of this expedition which carves you, your heart, into a container like a goblet which holds the wine of life. Wine which is a synonym for ecstasy. The goblet which Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, carved with his endless passion for people, for the Creator, was infinite. The deeper your goblet of life is, the more life it can contain. Beautiful memory. Of my most beautiful memories, one is my oldest when I was mere 18 months young. My first ever adventure, little and evergreen, a journey on a walking distance from our home in my village, Bannu, to a place, an orchard, an artwork my grandfather Baji had created with passion. A day, my grandmother carrying me in her soft and delicate hands, and everyone else, including my mother, Ammi, are following us behind to that orchard. That orchard is very meaningful and important for me. Baji had invested in it so much of his time, energy, and care. If one plant would shed its leaves in its autumn, another was blooming. It was like if Baji always longed for spring, and there he created that which was always hopeful, always blooming, always growing. That orchard vanished with time after a few years when a day my grandmother left when I was 6. A day like the wind everywhere. I have heard Abu, my father, so many times saying Amadal, a proverb in Pashto, my mother language. If you cannot get rid of a monster, embrace that monster. It was after I embraced that from which I could not run away that I started to think and reason beyond boundaries, and it helped me liberate to find and walk on the path of righteousness. Righteousness is the only parameter based on which we all differ from one another. No one is more inferior on the basis of gender, wealth, race, color, fame, or the number of followers on Instagram. It was 5 years ago when I heard of Instagram through a friend. By that time I had been taking random pictures and liked to keep archives of time as memories. Then I made an account on Instagram, and with time Instagram as a platform made me improve my work, and I started to feel the joy of expressing through this new medium of art. And eventually photos and videos developed as my passion. After some time, my love and empathy for people made me start a hashtag Mere Pyare Log in social media for the realization and recognition of human connection with each other. An idea to decrease the distance between, to recognize and own each other for our joys and sorrows, especially of those oppressed in our society. मेरे प्यारे लोग, मेरा एक बहुत अजीज़ हमनवा दोस्त एक दिन मुझसे कहता है कि मेरा दिमाग घूम जाता है जब मैं लोगों को इस्लाम और डेमोक्रेसी के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में देखता हूँ और दूसरी तरफ तुम्हारी नज़र से मेरे प्यारे लोग की शक्ल में उनके लिए लाड देखता हूँ। यानी कि तुम्हारे ये प्यारे लोग सोचने की कोशिश ही नहीं करते कि जैसे इनको पता ही नहीं कि इनके पास सोचने जैसी इतनी बड़ी कैपेबिलिटी है। ना मकसद से आशना है, ना मकसद से आशना होने की जुस्तजू रखते हैं। कहता है कि इसने तो हमें बर्बाद कर दिया है, हमें इनके हिस्से का भी सोचना पड़ता है लेकिन कुछ कर नहीं सकते। मैंने मुस्कुरा के कहा कि ऐसा तो नहीं, बर्बाद नहीं, हाथ थका दिया है बहुत। The purpose of material things is to facilitate human life, and they do not possess the purpose of life. Wealth, power, fame are all things of glitter, which is not gold. They are desires of lustful ego, which is inward and taking only. When we only take and do not give back, we disturb the balance of life. Shams of Tabriz in his autobiography says, when I was a child, they used to say to me, why are you sad? Do you need clothes? Do you need money? I used to say to them, I wish if they could take away even that, even the clothes which I wear, and then give me over to me that which I seek, which I want. Know yourself, know your talents, know your abilities, your skills, and give out of that by contributing good to the world. Do not possess hatred in your heart for each other. Be honest, forgiving, and sincere. Keep good relations. This is our responsibility, and if we remain sincere, how cannot then come the spring for which we are longing? ए दलोई फजल मालिका मालदा दुनिया जनात का फार्मूला यदा आसाना सदरे उठको न जुड़ेगी लकवीली मेदी सर के बस जानान जवानी और जाम ढेर गुलूना लग यारान और गमगिन गुंदे माखाम ये ज़मा लेवान सर पे कला कला मशगूले। I am Ibrahim Zauq and this is the discourse of my heart. Manana, shukriya.